Alright guys, so today we're going to talk about everything we learned from last night's preseason game versus the Commanders. Yes, we lost. We went 0-2-1 on the season. For preseason wise, doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But there was a lot of takeaways from last night. First off, Jake Browning did not play that much last night. It was actually Trevor Siemian and Sinnett who played the most. And I think that really signifies that Jake Browning has the backup job. And it really is his job at this moment in time. And last night, he actually did look pretty good. On the first drive of the game, we had two really good passes to Yoshi down the field. One was a 20-yard gain, one was a touchdown. Absolutely huge. The second drive of the game, we had a huge sack by none other than Owen Carney. Yes, the man who knocked the Falcons out of the field goal range last week. The huge, amazing play by him. Getting that sack and knocking him out of field goal range saved us immensely. The next thing we had was a 58-yard field goal by Money Mac before halftime. Listen, Money Mac he's one of the best for a reason, man. I freaking love him. We had a huge catch in the second half by Chuck Sizzle down the field. Tanner Hudson dropped a wide open touchdown, which actually pursued the next play to be a tipped pass, which got intercepted. So Trevor Siemian did have one interception, but that one interception was kind of horse crap. Again, like I said, Tanner Hudson dropped a wide open touchdown the play before that. So it should have been a touchdown and no interception there. And the Bengals should have won this preseason game. So it is what it is. Listen, it's preseason. Stupid stuff like that's going to happen. But I will say, we talked about Tanner Hudson last week and how that, he could make the roster. It's very possible. I think he just lost his spot on the roster. And it's not one play that changes stuff because he did have a couple catches in this game, like one for 20 yards. He had 4 catches for 42 yards after being out last week in concussion from week 1. But when it's a very tight race between everything, it's really hard you mess up like that. You dropped a touchdown pass. Next play led to an interception. Pointer off the board because of your mess up. In the preseason, when you're a roster bubble player and they got to cut people, and trust me, they don't want to cut people, but they have to, that kind of mess up, you're done. And he is 29 years old, too, so it's not like he's a young guy and he's developing. He is a little bit older, though. Next thing we have here is going to be Allen George and Jordan Battle got beat on a huge game down the left-hand sideline on a third down. Oh, sorry, in the third, not third down, in the third quarter, and it happens. It really was more Allen George getting destroyed rather than Jordan Battle. Jordan Battle was the deep safety, and as we saw against the Falcons, a little bit of the same concept there. He's a little bit late to get to his, spot where the ball is being thrown. And that's a rookie mistake. It's a thing he'll learn as a rookie, and he'll get better. But that's definitely something to take consideration is, you can't get that. And then the next play later, he got beat on a touchdown by the tight end. So, he just simple misdirection. Battle got beat. It was interesting for that reason. Tyler Murray gave up a touchdown on that play. Oh, sorry. He gave up a touchdown on the next drive later. I wouldn't even call it on Tyler Murray there. It was pretty much just a simple curl flat route, and it was technically his zone. He was covering the middle area, and their quarterback just dotted up on a simple curl flat route. I really, again, like I said, wouldn't truly blame him for that, but it wasn't his zone, so he is technically the one to put the blame on. Now you can see that Cedric Jackson had a 56 yards and a touchdown. Listen, I don't know exact yardage, but there was a 30-yard touchdown, I want to say, that was so wide open. I mean, it was a blown coverage completely. No one even close to him. So while, yes, he did have a 35-yard touchdown, 56 yards on the day, the touchdown, 90% of that came from one play. So it wasn't like he just had this crazy great day. He had one play that nobody covered him, and again, like I said, I think it was just a blown coverage, and it was a wide open touchdown. So it is what it is. They're definitely a mess up by them. Huge sack on third down by Raymond Johnson the third, and again, we talked about him every single week because every single week Raymond Johnson the third is making plays. See, this is what they're talking about consistency. This is what Coach talks about when he says consistency about making plays in the preseason. Week 1, Raymond Johnson III had a sack fumble. Week 2, he had a half a sack. Week 3, he had a huge sack in the third quarter on third down. That's about consistency. That's about making plays and doing the right thing there and not messing up. Now, the last thing is, it was the very end of the game. We were down by 2 points with around 2 minutes to go in the game. And it was third and 10. Yeah, it was third and 10. And Jackson Kirkland and Nate Gilliam both fell down on the play and got a sack on Cincinnati. Which, listen, it is what it is. Those guys, I think, Nate Gilliam's not making the roster. Kirkland, they might because of potential and what he could be, but they got the short on the play. They also got a penalty because of that, because they were trying to stop the play from being a sack, and you already know how that goes. You know, you're just adding insult to injury there. Next play later, it was an incomplete pass thrown by Cincinnati, and it is what it is. So here's the takeaway. Let's go through each position. Quarterback in this game, Jake Browning is a starting quarterback moving forward. He was 6 for 6, 42 yards and a touchdown. He looked absolutely perfect. Literally as perfect as you can be. But Trevor Siemian did not look bad in this game. He actually looked pretty good. He probably threw his best passes he has all preseason in this game. And he hit a lot of great weapons. But again, I don't think we're going to carry 3 quarterbacks into the season. So I think Trevor Siemian and how much he's going to cost us, I think it's like $1.52 million. He's going to be cut, and that's going to be the first cut we see. The second cut we're going to see is probably Reed Sinnett here, and again, another player who's not going to make it to the regular season. For the running back situation, Chase Brown looked perfectly fine in this game. Wasn't really any problem with him. Jacob Sayers, though, Calvin Tyler, those two guys, those are the, I'd say fourth, or actually not fourth. Those are 5th and 6th string running backs. They've looked good in special teams so far throughout preseason. I think we might keep one of them for special teams. Here's how I look at it, right? We're either going to keep a receiver for special teams or we're going to keep a running back for special teams. My guess is receiver, so I'd say they both get cut, but it's possible that one of the two stay for that said reason. Now, here's the thing about receivers. Are we going to keep 6 receivers or 7 receivers, right? Because already 6, you got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Trenton Irwin, Charlie Jones, and Yoshi. That's 6 receivers. Now the question is, do you keep a 7th one? Because you still got Stanley Morgan, who looks good on special teams. Trent Taylor. You got Cedric Jackson. You got Hippenhammer. You got Kwame. You got all these guys, and they have looked actually pretty decent, well, some of them, in training camp and preseason so far. And Cedric Jackson has really looked the best. But again, you take away his 30-yard touchdown here, and he really didn't have that much of a special night. But again, he has had pretty good games before this. So I will say overall-wise, I think they could possibly keep a 7th receiver. My problem is, I don't know if it's going to be Cedric Jackson or it's going to be Stanley Morgan. And it's not that Stanley Morgan did anything special, but he's good on special teams. The Bengals like him. They've kept him for a long time for a reason. They believe that he can be a pretty good asset to this team. And sometimes it's better to have a good asset on your team than just have a guy, who is, okay, well, we're going to keep 7 receivers. He looks like the best option. No, sometimes you want a guy who plays good outside of just the offense, who's an all-around really good player for your team. Next guy we have here on defense is Davis, who had a sack tonight. Really good game. Owen Carney, again, like I said, a really great game by him. Other than that, though, nothing really crazy in this game. Listen, this game was a preseason finale, right? We didn't start any of our starters. We even put in more of our backups in. So we just wanted to see, who's going to make the roster and who's not going to make the roster. And overall-wise, I think we got a general gist of who's going to be cut. Keep in mind that they have to cut down to the 53-man roster by Tuesday. So Monday, actually. No, 28th. Wow. They said in the game it was Tuesday, but it's actually Monday. The 28th is Monday. So they're going to have to cut down by tomorrow. I think they had to cut down. Okay, I think I know what they mean. They mean by Tuesday at like 12 a.m., Monday night, 12 a.m., which is Tuesday. You have all Monday to make your cuts. You just have to do it by the end of Monday. So, guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.